Okay, so basically got the cedar can opened up and just mixed it up. It's been sitting there for a little bit, a couple days, so just wanted to mix it up and make sure it was nice, and because it gets a lot of solids down on the bottom. Mixed it up. So according to the tech sheet, if you look up here, if you can see this mix ratio, bring this over here. Is a 3:1:1, which means 3 parts of sealer, 3 parts, 1 part hardener, 1 part reducer, 3:1:1. I always look at my tech sheets, even though I've been using this product forever. I always look at them. I don't want to make a stupid mistake, which does happen. So it says 3:1:1. So if you look at your mixing cups, I don't know if I should go into too much detail on this because there's a lot of videos out there about this, but you see all these different mixing ratios, like 4:1:1, 4:2:1:1, 4:2:2:1. So here is the one I'm going to use, 3:1:1. So if you wanted to add another part of something, you could add that. So depending on how much product you think you're going to need, you go to like number 3 on 3, because that's your sealer. 2 parts sealer, 3 parts sealer, 1 part reducer, 1 part catalyst. So if I only needed about this much material where the 2 is, can you see that? Yeah, mix it on the 2, and the 2. So I'd pour the sealer to 2, I'd pour the hardener to 2, I'd pour the reducer to 2. So it gives me the 3:1:1. So I got 3:1:1. If that makes sense. And if I wanted a whole bunch of material, I'd still stay in the 3. And there's 6, 6, 6. So each line you will follow, it's going to integrate up like this, like that. So that's kind of how you use these mixing cups. I went into a little more detail on one, I think, when I was doing the 59 El Camino. I think I explained that a little bit better than maybe I just did right now. But here we go. So, like I said, 3:1:1, but I only have a few small parts, so I'm going to use about 1/4 of a quart, 1/3 of a quart. So I don't want to waste any of this material. As you've seen how expensive this stuff is. So I'm just going to take this to the 2 right here. It seems to me that it's easier to pour it a little quicker, because if you start to dabble a little bit, then you get runs all the way down the side of your cup like I just did. Even as fast as I did, but I got it right there, almost exactly where the 2 is. So I'm going to set this off to the side. I don't want to get any of this mixed up. This is my hardener, DCX 3030. And I'm going to run that right up to the 2 next to it. There. I'll set that back so I don't get it mixed up with this one. And here's my DT870. It's a medium reducer. Okay, there we go. Let my stick off a little bit here. Close this up. Mix this up. It should give me a pretty good amount of sprayable material there. Put this off of my can. Also around the rim here. Just gonna clean this up. Also, what I do when I open these cans up is I put a few holes in the lid area to help this material drain back into the can. I'll show you that on when I mix up this base coat. So I'm just going to set that there. I'm not going to completely close it because I might need some more material, so I might have to come back and mix up a little bit more. But I use the medium reducer because I keep it about 70 degrees in here when I'm painting. And actually, you know, it's wintertime here in Montana right now. What is it? January. And it's supposed to get cold. So I'm trying to get this done this weekend. Just these parts, because it's going to get below zero, 20 below zero or something. Hate to have my shop up at 70 degrees for a whole week. Well, that's happened, but I got the parts up to 70. I've had this heater in here going for the last 2 days, so I got all the parts up to the whole shop, the whole garage or whatever you want to call it. My area here is all up to good temperature. Everything you touch is pretty good, pretty warm, so it should be good. I'll leave the heat on, you know, for like the next 2 days with, you know, with some air movement and everything to make sure that like clear coat cures and whatnot. So I think I got this mixed up pretty good. I like to use my strainers. I like to pour away from where my line was. That way I can, if I come back, I can clean it up a little bit and I can see that line. Where my 3:1 mixture is. I already set my gun up also. I usually set them up when I'm done cleaning them. So I'm gonna get all this material out of there as I can, as much as I can. I don't want to waste any of this. But unfortunately I know I'm going to, because that's just the way it goes. If I spray all these parts and I still have a little bit left, there's not much I can do except dump it. And when you're talking, how expensive this stuff is, it sure. I hate to see it go in the garbage can, or into a disposal unit, I should say. Makes it a little bit better. Say disposal unit, get a garbage can. I know we're in Montana, and they haven't cracked down on a lot of them rules yet, but still you want to kind of, you know, protect the environment. Live in the country. Lots of horses and animals out here. Keep them safe. Keep myself safe. Use a little lacquer thinner just for clean out when I clean my cup out. That way if I need to, I can come back and use the same cup again. These things used to be like, I don't know, 10 cents a piece. Most of the time they just give them to you. I don't know, I buy them by the 100. I buy like 100 at one time, so it saves me quite a bit of money. But you go into the store, I bet they're probably 75 cents or $1 a piece now. But as you all know, you've been to the grocery store lately, you know what we're all up against, so it's not just me. I know I'm just jabbering. Well, I'm just trying to kill the time while I'm waiting for this. And this is a Satajet 90. This is just, I use this just specifically for sealer. It's the only thing I use it for. I have different guns for everything that I do. I have the Vilbus for primer, which is a great gun. The Vilbus makes great gun. And then I have a Satajet 90 for the sealer. And I have two other Satajets, one for base coat, one for clear coat. And I'll show you those when I pull them out, instead of going through all this stuff. So I'm ready to go. All I gotta do is go in there and turn the fan on. I'm gonna have you sit by the door. I'm gonna leave the door open while I do this so you can see me actually spray this out. So So bear with me for a few minutes. It's going to get loud because the compressor is going to kick on and the heater will probably kick on when I start the fan up. Full face respirator, organic vapor cartridges. You can't just put on a filter. You have to use the right cartridge to keep out the bad stuff. All right, I'm ready to go. I set this here where you can see most of the action, I hope. Okay. Right there, what I was doing was just checking my spray pattern. Give you an idea of it's nice and even. I've only got my liquid nozzle turned out about 2 turns. I take it out about 3 and I come back to 2 and I leave it there. So. In the last video I did, I was talking about the welting that goes on them stone guards, and after I get done spraying here, I'll explain. I took them off and I taped them down to the table, and just trying to figure out how to get those painted. So we'll see how it goes. I can tell right now that I'm not gonna have enough material to finish the underneath of the hood. So I'm gonna mix up a little bit more cedar here. Probably not quite the same amount, but pretty close. It takes a lot of material to spray those little parts, you know, because you just can't do a full coverage on them. You got to spray around, and like those mirrors, you can see I was trying to move the mirrors and hold them and move them. And things are kind of a little bit of a pain to do. Another thing I do too is, since I use this stick to mix this up inside the cup, but I definitely don't want to stick it back in here because it's got some catalyst on it. So I want to mix this again, even though it's only been sitting there 5 minutes. I'm just going to mix it up. If you get, you know, if you're worried about that, just throw your stick away. Just get rid of it. That way you don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to do 2, 2, 2 again. 2, 2, and 2. See that? Actually, let me. Can't see as good as I used to. So you see, wear readers all the dang time. There, and I can see the lines a heck of a lot better now. Oh. Hardener, take it up to 2 parts. Back there again, a reducer. Okay, there we go. You said, if you're worried about it, you can throw away your stick. I'm going to throw both of these away when I'm done with this here. They haven't started charging you for sticks yet. But when you spend, I don't know what, I haven't even added it up, but have you seen what I was talking about as the prices? You spend $2,000 for freaking paint products. Hopefully they give you a couple sticks for free. Strainers. Most people are pretty good about that. Another thing that you get on the internet, go to like Auto Body Now. That's where I buy some of my products, or not my products, but my consumable materials, as far as like my cups and some tape and stick and all my overlay my plastic, the overspray protected sheeting, which I'll be using here when I get ready to paint the car, when I get ready to do the fender, inner fenders and the trunk. I just do them separately. I was gonna try to do them when I was doing these parts here, but I just didn't have enough room. Just couldn't make it happen. So that should do it. It's all gonna be, I'm gonna throw all these away anyways. A lot of times I'll take the cups and clean them if I've just used like a base coat in them or something. When you got catalyst and stuff, it's really hard to clean them out. But I do clean a lot of my cups and I'll use them for my cleanup cups. But save a few bucks. All right, let's go finish that hood. Should only have to put one coat of the sealer on. It's covering pretty good. And the main purpose of the sealer, I mean, there's a few different purposes, corrosion resistance, but most people use it is to keep the car one solid color. If you have different, like in there, I had the stone guards were black, the other pieces were gray. Well, if you paint like a pearl or something over it, it's not gonna match. So you want your car to be one solid color before you start laying down color. It's not gonna be as big a deal on this because it's an opaque, so it's not a transparent, but I just like the sealer because it's an adhesion promoter also. And so yeah, I just use sealer all the time.
All right, look through. There's some of that plastic sheeting. I put it over that table, so I had to set the hood on a couple of blankets so it had a nice soft spot to sit because it's already primered on the other side. So I just took that plastic sheeting and went over the top of it.
right, there we go. Sealer's on. And looks like I got really good coverage on everything. So I mixed it just about right because let me show you what I got left here. Yeah, I was maybe if I had another mirror, couple mirrors to do, I could have finished them, but see, not much product left in the bottom there. So thank gosh I didn't waste too much product. Like I said, I'm gonna just throw this stuff away here, let that product dry up in here. A lot of this stuff, what I'll do is I'll take stuff that I have lacquer thinner on and paint mixture on and stuff. What I'll do is I'll put them in old paint cans. I just save some of these paint cans and use them. It's like a mini garbage can. I mean, I'm not worried about something catching a fire, but you just never know. So I just like to play it on the safe side. I'll put them in there, then I'll put the lid back on them, you know, and with a couple air holes in them so they do breathe a little bit, but they're not going to be able to explode. Explode, yes. Okay, so there we have it with the sealer. I'm gonna clean up my gun. What I'll do is I'll take up with some lacquer thinner in it. I'll run it through the air hose and mix it up a little bit and spray it against the wall over here, clean it up, and pull it on, get it all cleaned up. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes.